Kim Jong-un gets 100% of the North Koreans to vote for him or die. We lost 239 people in an airplane over Vietnam. Vanished. So, what's the leader of the free world doing?
Do you send Ambassador Rodman to North Korea on your behalf? I read somewhere that you'd be sending Hulk Hogan to Syria, or is that more of a job for Tanya Harding?
Zach, he's not our ambassador.
I have to know, what is it like to be the last black president?
Seriously? What's it like for this to be the last time you ever talked to a president?
You said if you had a son, you would not let him play football. What makes you think that he would want to play football? What if he was a nerd like you?
Do you think a woman like Michelle would marry a nerd? Why don't you ask her whether she thinks I'm a nerd?
Could I?
No, I'm not going to let her near you.
Well, yucking it up with Zach Galifianakis on Funny or Die. Of course, oh, by the way, that mock interview went live just hours after the president returned from the big golf weekend extravaganza. Dana, you're groaning a little bit in that soundbite.
Look, I love TV programs like that normally. I think they're funny. I like that kind of humor. I just don't like it for the president. I don't think they set him up for success. I don't think he knew what he was getting himself into. It's so cringeworthy. The thing is, if you're gonna be on a comedy program, if you're gonna make that choice to put the president and use his time for that, you got to hit one out of the park. Otherwise, you're going to be ridiculed and all day long. And that's what everybody has been talking about. The between the ferns conversation with the president. I just find it. I think that a president's time is very, very valuable. And if you go to him as a press person and say, we'd like for you to do this interview because we think it will get you X or will get us Y, whatever we think that we need, I do not think they are using the president's time wisely.
Greg, do you agree?
Between Two Ferns is one of the hippest shows on the web. Everybody who's into comedy loves it. And I think that's exactly what President Obama needed now, was more hip credibility. And I think right now Putin is going like, Obama's on Two Ferns, we better get out of the Crimea region because now he's even more hip than ever. The funny thing is, I do agree. This is a lot about timing. Perhaps you should wait until the country's in better shape before you engage in a manufactured orgy of hipster awkwardness. But it's called Between Two Ferns, but the real fern is the president. He's dithering to the point of stationary on foreign policy. He's ideologically paralyzed here by his own leftism at home. The only difference is a fern doesn't bow.
Not on purpose. Andrea, so President Obama also took the weekend and went golfing. A lot of people are saying, look, there's a lot going on in the world, not the least of which 3 Americans are still missing. Is it time to be golfing and playing around with Zach Galifianakis on Between Two Ferns?
You know, we have this conversation a lot, and we usually are talking about President Obama. Should he be golfing? Why can't he get more focused? We sound like the mothers.
Yeah.
From Toddlers and Tiaras, and we have a daughter that just won't wear the tiara and doesn't want to wear the dress and doesn't want to lip sync to Whose Boots Have My Bed Been Under. We're very upset with President Obama. This is who he is. From the day he started campaigning, I think he thought that he won America's Got Talent and the consolation prize was a big, beautiful mansion and he got to hang out with celebrities. And nobody seems to be bothered with the fact that he can't be bothered with the other stuff. So my point of view is this. That dog won't hunt. He's never going to do what we want him to do. Put him in his room, give him Beyonce videos, give him Legos, give him House of Cards, lock the door. I don't care. I don't want him meddling anywhere where real armies could march anyway.
And Bob, we reelected that dog that don't hunt.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty damning series of statements here around this table. So I'll just say, A, if you've never worked in a White House or worked for a president, you don't realize how important it is for them to get away to play golf, play ping pong, play whatever. It's a very challenging job. He does do his job. He may not do it well, according to you all, but the idea that somehow, because he's going to play golf, that Putin is now feeling that much better. And the Galifianakis thing, he needs to get younger people to sign up. This is a hip program, as Greg pointed out, and the people who watch it are the people he needs to get to sign up.
But if you're going to do it, then you actually need to do it well. And I think that's a problem. So they got 19,000 people to go visit the website today. In their own numbers, the actual numbers, they are well short of 2 major goals. The first goal being overall number of signups, which they needed 7 million. They reported today 4.2. And they also needed a certain percentage, 38%, of young people to be in the mix. Today they reported it's 25%. So all of this advertising and time and resources that they are putting into these hipster programs isn't working.
Can I just point, if you can predict your own response to this, so can they. They know that you're not going to like it. They know that Fox News is going to like it. It doesn't bother them. Pop culture has a greater effect on the youth population than somebody who gets angry over this. So you got to accept it. You got to play the game and find people in the party, conservative and libertarian party, who can play this game.
But do you think that young people would think that that was good?
Oh, yeah, because Zach Galifianakis is actually a funny guy. And this thing is great. The solution is, if you don't like this, win a damn election. Win an election so you don't have to see this anymore. Don't blame them.
But we also need to point out, he is the first president to appear on Late Night Talk Show. He is the first president.
That's wrong. That is absolutely wrong.
That's seated president. He is the first president.
No, that's president.
Bill Clinton did, and that's how he basically rehabilitated himself.
Okay, fair enough.
But George W. Bush did not.
Nor did any other president prior to that or in between.
I don't know.
If I'm not.
Bush do a game show.
He recorded a video for a soldier that was going on a game show.
Can we do this? So with all the events, Bobby, going down in the world, the president decided golfing and clowning around with some comedians was a good idea, but when asked this afternoon if that's the right message to the American people, Jay Carney said this.
Look, we're constantly looking at different ways to reach Americans.
So was the presidency in any way, the presidency, damaged or lost dignity because
I mean,
of this?
we obviously assess opportunities that we have and you know, look at whether or not they're going to be successful and wise, and I think we made the right call here.
So they made the right call, according to Jay Carney. But Bob, as Greg points out, they pretty much have the young person locked up right now. Maybe they should be doing things to reach out to
I'm not so
maybe
sure.
middle-aged people.
Look, it's early March, 4.2 million, and they wanted to get to 7 million by the 31st. It's quite possible they could get 5.5 or 6 million people. None of you would have given that a prayer's chance of getting that far, or getting to. If I said to you when you all were starting to dump on Obamacare when the website didn't work, if I'd said 4.2 million by March 10th or 11th, you'd have said,
we're going to do that. We're going to do that in a second.
The likelihood of them getting to that place is highly unlikely. Again, these were goals they set for themselves, and a good portion of these people that signed up haven't paid the premium. So you can't technically count them. They're counting them. They shouldn't do that. The point with the Zach Galifianakis interview, I think it's hilarious. Zach Galifianakis is really funny. The problem is he won. He won that interview. He looks good. He got people to laugh at him. President Obama, that was not a win for him. So if you're going to put the president out there, make sure it's a win for him. He didn't do that. Pop culture is great, and they have it locked up, and that's their playbook. But again, the funniest thing about that interview is young people are going to go to Obamacare, see what the premiums are. That's where they're going to laugh. They're going to go, yeah,
I can just tell you,
I'm
obviously, you know, my son is democratically inclined, but he and his friends were aware of this and watched it and thought it was cool.
Okay, that doesn't get them to sign up.
Did they sign up? Because really, that's what this is all about, right?
Or not.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're well loved by the young generation. We get that, but are they driving people to the website to sign up or not?
But that's even kind of the weirder thing about it. So this is a manufactured show of awkwardness. That's what it's supposed to be. But it really is about clever people duping their fans into a plan that needlessly burdens them. In a weird way, Zach just screwed his own audience because they don't need this.
All right, can I play this, Dan? I know you want to weigh in this, but let's just play a little piece of how they made the turn to Obamacare. The president said he agreed to do that Funny or Die interview to create awareness among young people of Obamacare. Listen.
Have you heard of the Affordable Care Act?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. That's the thing that doesn't work. Why would you get the guy that created the Zune to make your website?
Healthcare.gov works great now. And the law means that insurers can't discriminate against you if you've got a pre-existing condition anymore.
Yeah, but what about this, though?
That's disgusting. How long have you had that?
Oh, just 4 months.
Really?
Spider bites. I got attacked by spiders.
Zach, you need to get that checked right away.
And just moments ago, the administration released the latest Obamacare enrollment numbers. Dana pointed out 4.2 million since October 1st. Only 1/4 of those are young enrollees. They need that. And they still won't tell us. They need more of those, by the way. And they still won't tell us how many have paid. So is this about making President Obama look good and cool and young and hip, or about enrolling young people in Obamacare?
No, I think that they really thought that this would actually help them, and I think it's probably been in the works for a while. I just think that it wasn't a good use of his time because celebrity and cool is not necessarily the best thing for a president to be espousing. if this program was so great, then people would be running to it in droves. I think that what we've talked about before is going to have to happen to get young people to the table. If we're going to keep Obamacare, they have to increase the penalty, because otherwise they're not going to move to it. In addition to that, those numbers, what was the point of Obamacare in the first place? To get the uninsured to be insured? They haven't released the numbers yet, but the estimates are that most of the people who have signed up, of the 4.2 million, had insurance before anyway. So they're not actually tapping in yet to the young market or to the people that they said they wanted to help, which were the uninsured.
Nonetheless, it's a number that none of you would have anticipated.
Bob, we don't know what the number is.
Right.
You don't know what the number is.
4.2 million.
No.
4.2 million. And by the way, paying for your insurance to count, you always pay your insurance 30 days after you get it.
4.2 million have looked and have picked out something that they would like to have.
4.2 million is a lot of people.
Bob, we don't know how many of
It's
those
up to you guys. Have been 12 or 13 people.
Wait, but if 5 million people lose their insurance, that's not that much.
And it's the same game that they've been playing straight through. They're going to end up with, who knows, 3 million actual enrollments?
You really think 5 million people are uninsured right now who were insured before?
Yes.
Yes.
You do?
Yeah. No. But
prove it.
You know why?
Prove it.
It would have been within by the end of the year, but President Obama decided to push that number back, push that date back a year.
Prove it.
I can't prove it.
Well, there you go.
How's this?
There you go. You've never proved anything.
Prove 4.2 million people have paid for insurance.
Well, no, you're just pulling that right now. You threw out numbers.
Yeah, I think they set up, this Funny or Die sets up the situation perfectly. It was basically laugh at health care reform or die. Or if you don't sign up, young people, you will die. And you know what the young people are thinking?
I just don't understand.
I'm not going to get sick. I don't need it. I'm healthy. I'm young. I'm not worried about dying.
If you think of Sebelius and Pelosi when they were on Jon Stewart's show, and then this show, I mean, I laughed too, but I don't see the motivating factor. I don't see the reason to go in and ask the president to spend his time preparing for something like that. Even though I think the show's funny, I wouldn't have asked the president to do it.
And what you're getting at is that how Obamacare has been bringing his entire administration down into this one all-consuming effort at the expense of his stature and at the expense of foreign policy. Cool doesn't win wars. It doesn't create fear.
And it doesn't maybe exactly right about wasting the president's time with this, but we'll find out. We'll see how many people visit the website the next few days.
President thinks he's funny. Don't you think they've bought their own hype? Like they think
he actually is funny. I mean, I do think that he is funny in small group settings.
You need to go.
Like when you're playing Pictionary?
Like in the Oval Office. I think he's hilarious.
All right, we got
to
go. Getting yelled at. Next, the Democrats pull an all-nighter in the Senate on one of the coldest winters in recent memory to raise awareness about climate change, and there was plenty of hot air there. And later, an update on the search for the missing plane in Asia and new theories about what might have happened. We have a few. Stay with us.